When is the safety car deployed? The safety car is like a fire alarm. It doesn't go off for just any noise. It only blares when something really serious happens. You're talking cars in the wall, marshals exposed, debris sitting like landmines mid-track, a torrential downpour in Sector 2, or a medical car suddenly rushing toward Turn 10. And the second race control pushes that button, the entire sport hits pause. In one click, strategies collapse, gaps shrink. Drivers who've spent 40 laps building a 20-second lead, gone, just like that. But it's more than just fairness. It's about saving lives. Race marshals are the unsung heroes in this circus. And the moment they step onto track, F1 becomes a battlefield of blind corners and slick tires. You can't leave that up to chance. That's why they don't wait. The moment they see danger, even potential danger, that safety car leaves pit lane, warning lights blazing, and orders go out. SC deployed, maintain Delta. The fans groan, the team radios buzz, but everyone knows it's necessary. What must the race leader do under safety car? The race leader is under the most pressure, not to win the race, but to keep it from turning into chaos. While following the safety car, they can't weave like maniacs or brake check the field. No erratic moves, no sudden stops. It's a ballet of calm aggression. And the leader? They're the front dancer. This role is often misunderstood. It's not about pace, it's about discipline. Leading under SC requires confidence, restraint, and knowing that your throttle controls everyone behind you. It's the only time in racing where over-controlling is actually dangerous. Remember Baku 2021? Hamilton was on pole after the restart, but a red flag forced him into a new SC formation. In the tension of that moment, even the most experienced driver made a mistake, flicked the wrong brake mode. That moment cost him the win. That's the fine line every leader dances. If you mess it up, you ruin the restart. If you're too conservative, the guy behind you gets the jump, but if you get fancy with the brakes, you might cause a 10-car pileup and a paddock full of angry engineers. Pit lane rules under safety car. The pit lane becomes a different sport when the safety car is deployed. It's not just about tire changes anymore. It's a war zone of timing and discipline. The second a safety car is called, the pit wall screams into the driver's ear, box, 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 because pitting under SC can save as much as 10 to 15 seconds over a green flag stop. That's gold dust. But it's also chaos. Everyone piles in. Your pit box turns into a wrestling match. One missed wheel gun, you lose 6 positions. One traffic release, unsafe release penalty. 1 second hesitation, race over. And God help you if you exit under a red light. Just ask Hamilton and Kubica in Canada 2008. They both exited during red and slammed into the back of Kimi Räikkönen, who had stopped legally. That moment taught teams to double, even triple check that pit exit light. It's a simple rule. If the pit exit light is red, you wait. Even if your tires are screaming hot, even if Verstappen is pulling up behind you, you don't move, or you're going home early. No overtaking under safety car. No overtaking under SC. That rule sounds obvious, but in F1, nothing is ever obvious. Say the car in front of you slows down suddenly to build a gap to the car in front of them, or they're weaving aggressively and suddenly go wide. Do you overtake? What if they're pulling off the track because they're retiring? Here's the catch. If race control hasn't specifically told you to pass, you can't. Full stop. This exact scenario ended up costing Vettel at Japan 2012. He passed Vernya's Toro Rosso under safety car because he thought it was retiring. Stewards didn't care. It was technically an overtake, 5-place grid drop. You don't pass unless the car ahead is clearly disabled, or race control gives a green light, even if that car is limping. If it's moving and you pass without permission, it's a penalty. Delta time rule. Respect your delta. The moment those words hit the radio, drivers know they're now racing a ghost clock, not the car next to them. Here's how it works. When the SC is deployed, a pre-calculated minimum lap time is enforced. Every driver sees this live on their dashboard. Go faster than that, even by a second, and you'll get a penalty. This rule came into full force after Jules Bianchi's tragic crash at Suzuka 2014. That was a wake-up call. Before that, drivers would rush to the pit under yellow or SC to gain time. But marshals were already on track. It was a disaster waiting to happen. Now, drivers are GPS tracked in real time. Each mini-sector has a delta time. They have to stay above it, meaning go slow enough, or get slapped with a drive-through, or 10-second penalty. It's the rule that added accountability. No more, I didn't see the flag. The delta is precise, unforgiving, and always watching. Rejoining safety car queue after pit. This rule stops chaos from from turning into anarchy. Let's say you pit under SC. You exit, but a bunch of cars are already behind the safety car on the main straight. Can you floor it and slot in front? Absolutely not. You must rejoin the train in the position that the system calculates, not where you think you should be. Sometimes this means rejoining at the back, even if you exited technically ahead. There's GPS tracking for this. Real-time AI, your delta, your pit exit, your positioning, all of it gets compared, and race control tells you where to merge. Jumping the queue is a serious offense. We've seen this cause chaos. Mugello 2020, for instance. Multiple drivers got confused at restart, didn't maintain proper SC gaps, and caused a horrifying chain reaction crash down the straight. F1 doesn't play with rejoining rules. It's as strict as border control. Lapped cars unlapping themselves. This is the rule that shook the sport to its core. Normally, when the SC is deployed, the lapped cars are instructed to unlap themselves, to pass the leaders, drive all the way around the circuit, and rejoin at the back of the queue. It's meant to create a clean restart. P1 starts in front of P2, not with lapped cars in between. But it became the most controversial rule in F1 history in 2021. Abu Dhabi, final race, title decider, Hamilton leading. Then a late crash brings out the safety car. Initially, race control says no lapped cars will unlap, then suddenly changes their mind, but only lets 5 of them through, specifically the ones between Hamilton and Verstappen. Verstappen, with fresh tires, overtakes Hamilton into turn 5 and wins the world championship. Fans were furious. Mercedes protested. The world erupted. The result? FIA rewrote the rulebook. Now it clearly says all lapped cars must be allowed to overtake before the restart. No gray area, no pick and choose. This one rule didn't just impact a race. It rewrote how F1 would be officiated forever. Safety car line rules. There's this invisible line on every track called the safety car line, and it plays a massive role in deciding who wins or loses track position when chaos erupts. It's not just one line either. There are actually 2 safety car lines, SC1 and SC2. One is before the pit entry, the other near pit exit or at a designated marshal post. These aren't decorative. They determine when overtaking is allowed under SC. Say you're in a tight battle, and the SC is called just as you're approaching pit entry. If you cross SC line 1 before your rival, even if they dived into the pit ahead, you can be classified in front once the dust settles. Same goes at the pit exit. If you're side by side with someone and beat them to SC line 2 coming out of the pit, you maintain position even if you're technically behind on exit. Remember 2010 Valencia? Alonso was stuck behind the SC, while Hamilton just barely made it past before the SC line, but then got penalized anyway for passing the SC too late. That one rule nearly flipped the entire podium. These lines are razor sharp. 1 meter too early or too late, and you get a penalty or a podium. Restart procedure. Who controls the pace? Once the safety car pulls into the pits, it doesn't mean the race just magically resumes. The leader now controls the pace up to the finish line or designated restart zone. And it's here that chaos brews. The leader has the right to back up the field, maintain a slow crawl, warm tires, or even create a gap, but they can't brake test or swerve unpredictably. They're allowed to be clever, but not dangerous. The infamous case, Mugello 2020. Bottas was leading and waited until the last second to bolt at the restart. The midfield misread the cues. Some went full throttle while others hesitated. The result? A multi-car pileup down the straight. Carbon fiber everywhere. FIA investigated and concluded the leader did nothing wrong, but the rest of the field wasn't keeping appropriate distance or attention. After that, restart zones were strictly reevaluated and warnings were issued. This rule is why race restarts now feel like a powder keg. One wrong move and you've got 20 missiles launching into each other at 200 kilometers per hour. Overtaking the safety car. What's allowed? Drivers can only overtake the safety car under 3 specific conditions. If they're explicitly told to by race control, if they're unlapping themselves after instruction, if the SC is pulling into the pits, and the green flag is waved. Anything else? That's a guaranteed penalty, and sometimes a race-ending one. In the 2007 European Grand Prix at Nürburgring, Nürburgring, Marcus Winkelhock led the race under bizarre conditions. When the safety car was about to come in, cars misread the situation and overtook it too early. It became such a confusing restart that stewards had to dig into race telemetry to sort it out. And in 2008, Lewis Hamilton overtook the SC at pit exit in Canada. Unaware the pit exit light was red. The result? Collision with Raikkonen. Penalty. Race ruined. Overtaking the SC without permission is like skipping customs at an airport. You don't just get fined, you get arrested. Double yellow flags versus safety car. Before we even get to the safety car, there's another warning system, the double yellow flags. They tell drivers, slow down, marshals ahead, track partially blocked. So when does it upgrade to a full SC? It's all about two things, exposure and equipment. If marshals are physically on the track or operating cranes close to the racing line, the risk becomes too high. Double yellows just aren't enough. A safety car is mandatory. The turning point? Jules Bianchi, Suzuka 2014. A recovery crane was removing Sutil's car under double yellows. Bianchi lost control and slammed into the crane at terrifying speed. He never recovered. That moment ended the debate. Now, the moment machinery or marshals are in a high-risk zone, the SC comes out. F1 said, never again. Virtual safety car, VSC and SC. What's the difference? After Bianchi's tragedy, F1 introduced the virtual safety car, a digital neutralization of the race, without an actual car on track. The VSC limits every car to a delta time. They must drive exactly to a predetermined pace, monitored at every mini-sector. No overtaking, no weaving, just cruise at pace. But it only works when the track isn't physically blocked, when the incident requires track personnel, heavy lifting, or medical response. That's when the actual safety car takes over. You could say the VSC is precision, the SC is protection. The choice depends on where the incident is, how dangerous it is, and what's needed. It's not just guesswork, it's data-driven, real-time risk analysis. Restart zone rule. This is one of the most misused and misunderstood rules, especially by new fans. There's a designated restart zone, a marked portion before the start-finish straight, where the leader is allowed to accelerate and resume racing. Before that, the pack must hold formation. It was implemented to standardize restarts and avoid unpredictable sprints from random corners. In places like Baku or Spa, without this rule, drivers could have restarted the race from the final twisty sector, catching the pack off guard and triggering pileups. Not anymore. Now, stewards monitor throttle input, sector data, and even driver pedal pressure to ensure no one restarts early. And if you launch outside the restart zone, that's a breach of regulations. Penalty incoming. Restart aboard or second SC lap. Sometimes, right when the SC is about to pull in, something else goes wrong. A car stalls, a marshal is too slow clearing debris, or rain intensifies. In that case, race control has the right to abort the restart. They signal that the SC stays out for another lap, and the lights remain on. For example, in Spa 2021, the field followed the SC for 2 full laps, but never restarted due to intense rain. FIA ruled those 2 laps were enough to technically count as a race. It sparked massive outrage. So, they later updated the rule. If less than 2 racing laps are completed after SC or red flag, no full points can be awarded. It was a rule born out of embarrassment, now locked into the sporting regulations. Safety car formation laps in wet conditions. Rain clouds roll in and the sky opens up. F1 transforms into a chess game on ice. It's no longer about speed, it's about survival. And that's where this rule comes into play. In severely wet conditions, instead of doing a regular grid start, the race begins behind the safety car. It's technically called a rolling start formation lap, and it's designed to help drivers get a feel for the track while minimizing the risk of aquaplaning into turn 1. But here's the twist. If the race director thinks conditions will improve, they can run several formation laps behind the SC before stopping the cars on the grid for a traditional standing start. If not, the rolling start becomes the race start. Either way, those laps count toward the race distance. And if more than 2 laps are completed behind the SC without green flag conditions, partial points may be awarded. That's exactly what happened at the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix, where fans waited hours in the rain, only for 2 laps behind the safety car to be declared a race. No actual racing happened. Max Verstappen was declared the winner. F1 changed the rule afterward. Now, at least 2 green flag laps must occur for full points to be awarded. So every rainy Sunday is now a gamble for both drivers and race control. Rejoining after safety car picks. Wrong car. Sometimes chaos hits the grid before the safety car even finds the right leader. Picture this. Pit stops are happening mid-incident. Cars are scattered all over sectors, and race control has to act fast. In the heat of the moment, the SC might accidentally pick up the wrong car, maybe P3 or P6 instead of the leader. That's when this rule kicks in. When the SC has the wrong car at the front, the actual race leader is told to pass and rejoin the front of the pack. Only when green flags appear or direct instructions are given can a car safely overtake the SC. Anything done without permission? That's a slam dunk penalty. This happened in races like the 2015 Chinese Grand Prix, where Hamilton almost lapped half the grid and the safety car picked up Vettel instead. Marshals had to sort it out quickly, using GPS tracking, pit delta, and lap data to restore the order before restart. It's a logistical nightmare, but if not corrected, it could rob a driver of a win. So this rule exists to restore justice when race control messes up. And in the world of F1, where every 10th matters, one wrongly timed SC can rewrite the entire championship script. Blue flags under safety car. Normally, blue flags mean get out of the way. They're waved at slower, lapped cars when faster cars approach. But under the safety car, this dynamic flips. During the SC phase, blue flags are suspended. No driver has to yield position because the field is neutralized, meaning positions are frozen, and overtaking isn't allowed anyway. However, there's one exception. When lapped cars are instructed to unlap themselves, blue flags reappear briefly, not to force them off the line, but to signal that they can now pass the leaders and rejoin the back of the pack. This is crucial for a clean restart. It avoids having a lapped car sitting between two race leaders, blocking a fair battle. And since the SC will stay out until all lapped cars unlap and rejoin, race control uses blue flags to speed up the process. But only then. The blue flag rule under SC is all about fairness, not just to leaders, but to fans who want to see Hamilton versus Verstappen, not Hamilton versus Latifi in P17. Restart infractions and FIA penalties. Restarting a race under SC is an art form, but some drivers take the creativity too far. Here's the rule. From the time the SC lights go out until the green flag, the leader controls the pace, and no car may overtake or launch early. But every so often, someone tries to be a hero. They swerve too aggressively, brake check the car behind, or jump the throttle half a second early, hoping to gain a quick position. All of these are violations, and depending on severity, the FIA can issue time penalties, grid penalties in the next race, or even disqualification. One notable case? Bottas at Mugello 2020, when the restart looked legal from the front, but the midfield misread the acceleration and caused a pileup. No penalty was issued, but it led to stricter monitoring of restart behavior. Since then, every throttle input, brake trace, and telemetry line is reviewed post-race. No one gets away with sneaky restarts anymore. One early move, and the stewards will catch it. Tire and brake temperature rule. When you're crawling behind the safety car for several laps, you're not just conserving fuel, you're fighting to keep your tires and brakes alive. Formula One cars rely on precise temperatures. If tires go cold, grip drops off a cliff. If brakes cool down, they lose bite. That's why you'll see drivers weaving, accelerating, and braking, and even dragging their brakes aggressively. But here's the catch. There's no written law dictating how to keep temps up, only how not to do it. If a driver weaves erratically or slams the brakes in front of another car, it's considered dangerous. And under FIA regulations, erratic driving that endangers another competitor can lead to immediate reprimand or time penalties. This rule is subjective, meaning it depends on context. In 2019, Vettel came under fire for swerving too much behind the SC in Canada. The FIA didn't penalize him, but the message was clear. Warm your tires, not scare your rivals. Every driver walks a fine line between performance and penalty, fuel saving and engine mode restrictions. Safety car periods are gold mines for fuel saving. At reduced speeds, the hybrid units consume way less, and teams use the lull to lift and coast, shift to lean fuel modes, and even let batteries recharge more effectively. All legal, but closely monitored. Teams aren't allowed to switch engine modes beyond FIA-approved mappings under SC. If a team secretly shifts to an aggressive harvest mode or restricts energy usage in a way that gives them unfair advantage post-SC, they can face heavy sanctions. This came into focus after teams like Mercedes and Ferrari were rumored to be sandbagging under SC to unleash power later. Now, engine mode data is locked, And teams must stay within designated parameters. This rule protects sporting integrity, making sure nobody gets a hidden boost once the green flag drops. Because in a sport where even 0.1 seconds per lap can swing championships, fuel saving under SC is a legal strategy, but manipulating systems, that's a crime.